Match Time Revisited.
More great drama? That's just the job. Trust a Trader, sponsoring ITV4 Daytime.
TrustATrader.com.
Good afternoon, that's our main match today, and the Francis incident apart, it really was a credit to the First Division.
Ryder, and it was Hartford, and Southall just made it.
Well, plenty of incidents like that, and two really fabulous goals coming up from Main Road. And no shortage of goals either in our second match, a real thriller between Crystal Palace and the Second Division leaders, Luton Town.
Everton, Smiley might get in!
Also this afternoon, we've the main highlights of another First Division game. That's the one between Ipswich Town and Aston Villa, who this week, of course, reached the semi-finals of the European Cup. And in today's news roundup, 4 players who won't be taking part in this week's international games because of injury. But we start at Main Road and the game which featured 5 members of the England under-21 side that won in Poland on Wednesday night. Manchester City's Ray Ranson, Tommy Caton and Nicky Reed. In white, Everton's Adrian Heath and Steve McMahon as well. All nicely relaxed. Before the match, let's join Martin Tyler.
Manchester City are without their injured captain, Paul Power, but Trevor Francis returns after the thigh strain which failed him here a fortnight ago against Arsenal. Kevin Bond is once more in midfield, where he's improvised successfully in City's last 2 matches. For Everton, Kevin Ratcliffe is recalled at left-back because John Bailey picked up an injury in training. Adrian Heath is given an attacking role in a side where the average age is just 22. Alan Irvine at number 7 was rejected by Manchester City as a 15-year-old because he was too small. Asa Hartford on the left captains Manchester City against the club he left in the autumn. And Billy Wright is leading Everton these days in the absence of Mike Lyons. The fixtures between the two sides have very much gone City's way in recent seasons. You have to go back 8 meetings to find Everton's last win, when in fact the decisive goal came from Billy Wright. Derek Civil from Birmingham is today's referee. Everton are wearing a change strip of all white, and they kick off. Manchester City won 1-0 at Goodison Park back in October, and are looking to repeat the double that they won over Everton last season, when they also put Everton out of the 6th round of the FA Cup. Alan Irvine. The pitch has withstood a battering from overnight rain well. Brian Burrows with a header. Bobby McDonald. Here's Irvine. Now Heath. Graham Sharp furthest forward for Everton. Squeezing it back for Richardson. Irvine going through the middle. McDonald was covering him. And now Ranson, who captained the England under-21s on Wednesday. Ryder. Bond with space, and he needed all of it, and then gets the free kick. A foul by Ross, who is the oldest player in the Everton starting lineup at 25. Everton, who lost Asa Hartford's experience in their midfield when he moved back to City. Caton might get a second bite at it, and it's a corner. Won for City by the endeavour of Tommy Caton. Ryan will take it. Bond and Reeves on the near post. It's Bond, and then put out by Richardson. Everton a little concerned about the City numbers on the near post. And Southall uncertain. Reeves had a drive at it. And finally a goal kick. Kevin Bond causing difficulties for Everton with the jump there that disconcerted Southall. And Reeves had the final effort, and City looked for a penalty as the ball was blocked by an Everton hand. Radcliffe. Heath let it run for Sharp, and it's back for Heath again, and Everton score a superb goal. Heath's shot after the interplay with Sharp. Heath let it run. Sharp was aware that Heath wanted it back, and the finish was decisive. 5 minutes played. Everton, who have had problems in scoring that they would have wanted here at Main Road. And the goal coming barely 30 seconds after Manchester City had asked for a penalty at the other end, and the ball appeared to strike the hand of Billy Wright. And here's Bond, who equalises. A player who's had his share of criticism at Main Road as the son of the manager. But he gives an answer there, doing a job for the side in midfield. And he picked the ball up, switched it to his left foot, and Southall was late with the dive. Hartford. McMahon in with great determination. Here's Ross. Richardson. And Bond. Brought down by Ross, and it's another booking for Everton. Kevin Bond had lost control, really. But Ross was committed. Ross joins Higgins in the notebook for that tackle on Bond. Ryder, and it was Hartford, and Southall just made it. It wasn't hit with great venom by Asa Hartford, but the placement was good. It was Sharp's header that fell for him, and Southall repositioned and just pushed it around. Bond beaten by Wright. Ryan looks wide again. And it's a goal kick. Ryan quickly across when Irvin's in possession. This is McMahon. And Bond lost out to Steve McMahon. Carried on, but it's still with Everton, and Heath, but the chance goes away. Heath is frustrated. Kevin Bond, I would think, is the most relieved Manchester City player, who lost possession initially, tussled to try and win it back, found that Reed rather got in his way. Heath took it up, slipped Caton, but shot wide. Hartford. This is Ryan. Ranson racing up outside him, but the pass is aimed for Reeves, and his first touch allowed Ross to hack it to safety for Everton. The pass was true, but Reeves couldn't quite collect, and Ross saved the day. So it's City's corner this time. And Everton have left John Ryan. And that came off right and reached Caton, and it's nodded behind by Sharp. And Everton lost their concentration when they allowed the corner to be played short to Ryan. And it's Ryan who's come across to take the corner from the other side. Bond's flick, Francis against the bar, and it was already over when Southall touched it. The near post corner almost working for City. Bond got it on, but Francis couldn't keep it down. Wright's header. City going forward through McDonald. Francis. Prepared to turn and twist until the opening comes his way, and it's Harida and Southall. It was a despairing dive, but it was effective to deny Auger Harida. But splendid work from Trevor Francis to set up the cross. Ransom will play it in, and Francis, and Southall has lost it. And Everton react angrily, and Francis used the head then, and must surely find himself in serious trouble. Francis followed the ball in, Southall took it in the face, and Everton reacted, and then Francis in his turn retaliated. He certainly used the head, and Derek Civil of Birmingham sends off Trevor Francis. Francis still can't believe it, nor can the Manchester City supporters. But the incident was quite clear as Everton showed their protests around Francis. He used his head. The ball ends up in the back of the net, but the half-time whistle had gone. And the players leave the field to a storm of booing. Billy Wright was the Everton player involved as Trevor Francis appeared to butt him and was sent off 3 minutes before half-time by referee Derek Civil. This after the match had given us a really exciting start with 2 goals in the first 6 minutes. Kevin Bond there, the City scorer, after Adrian Heath had put Everton in front. McDonald appears before an FA disciplinary commission next week and will be certainly suspended, and so too does Kevin Bond. And now Manchester City will lose Trevor Francis for 2 games in a fortnight's time on that first half incident, and one wonders whether their hopes of the championship have disappeared as a result of what's taken place here today. A reminder that the score is 1 goal apiece. Reeves. Here goes Ryan. Harida's got into the middle. This is Irvin. Making McDonald do the chasing. Heath. The task now for Everton is to make their extra man count in the second half. Sharp. Irvin. It's Richardson beyond the far post, and McMahon, who can't quite turn it back in. Ratcliffe. We might recall that he was sent off in an Everton-Manchester City clash last season in a similar incident. Here's Irvine. Ross. Can use Burrows if he wants, or Heath. This is Heath. Now Burrows. McMahon. Setting his sights on the left foot, and it was close. Steve McMahon had covered a lot of ground to be involved in this Everton build-up, and his turn took him away from John Ryan. Ross. Here's Reeves. City will have to get men forward quickly in support of him. Bond has got forward. Reeves tries the shot, which is blocked, and Ryder drives it in. And it hit Trevor Ross and could have gone anywhere. It's a corner. Reeves carried the fight forward for City, and then it broke for Ryder. And Ross was fortunate that it only went for the corner. McDonald came in. And this is Brian Burrows for Everton. Everton have 4 forward, City 4 back. Ransom does enough to hold them up. Sharp. In from Irvine. Corrigan keeping his eye on the ball, and again a challenge by a forward on a goalkeeper provides a flashpoint. Graham Sharp sensibly walked away from Corrigan's reaction. Ransom doing well against Richardson, who flicked in from behind and will be booked. Ray Ransom was trying to get his body between Richardson and the ball and ran across the line of Richardson's run, and Kevin Richardson caught the back of the left boot and removed it, and he becomes the 3rd Everton player to be cautioned. Ransom had left him, but he veered across in front of Richardson, who was tempted into a tackle that could never succeed. Ratcliffe. And Ratcliffe and Reed tussling off the ball. And they go again, and the feet were high by Ratcliffe. The referee wants the game to go on, with City in possession. There was another potential incident. On that occasion, Nicky Reed and Kevin Ratcliffe, the central figures. And Reed with a no-nonsense tackle again. Heath finding Ratcliffe. This is Richardson. And it's Burrows who's arriving. And Ryan, who was aware of his presence and helped it behind for the corner. And it's Manchester City's turn to get their marking tight at a set piece. For Everton, the hope of exploiting this dead ball situation to restore their lead. Sharp. Heath. And Corrigan at full stretch, as Adrian Heath's header was looping in on target. after Sharp flicked it on. Sharp, who's made Caton work hard. And the pass from Ross was beautifully picking out McMahon. I think Corrigan got a touch on the shot to push it onto the bar. And if he did, it was a superb save. Because Steve McMahon was on the receiving end of a splendid ball from Trevor Ross. McMahon setting off there. Ross found him, the ball sat up nicely for McMahon, but Corrigan touched it onto the bar. Joe Corrigan keeping the 10 men in the match. This time, Irvine looks for the outswinger. Maybe Mark Higgins the target, but it reaches right. But the whistle has gone. No goal. Pushing by Wright. Ball dropping over the head of Mark Higgins, but Wright was leaning in on Harida. Heath. Here's Higgins. McMahon allowed to turn. And a deflection brings the best out of Corrigan again, off Kevin Bond. It's been a heroic performance from Corrigan in the second half. In fact, the ball was passing wide, but Corrigan couldn't be sure. And no problems for the goalkeeper there, as Wright's header was always passing over. Into the final minute of normal time. Here's Reed, looking for something dramatic to finish the day. Finally halted by Higgins. And then Wright with a back pass that has Southall in trouble. McDonald. Here's Reed, who covered some 60 yards in that burst forward. The type of aggression and determination that makes Nicky Reed such a favourite at Main Road. And the final whistle goes. It's a match that will be remembered for the sending off of Trevor Francis, but Joe Corrigan's 24th game against Everton in his long career. He's only been on the losing side 4 times against them, and his second half performance has given Manchester City their share of the spoils here. The goals both in the first 6 minutes from Adrian Heath for Everton and Kevin Bond replying for Manchester City. And a final score at Main Road, it's Manchester City 1, Everton 1.
Well, a thoroughly entertaining match, but obviously the talking point afterwards was the sending off of Trevor Francis. First, let's hear a reaction from the Everton player involved in that first half incident, Billy Wright.
Well, my version is that Trevor's gone in for the ball with Neville Southall. He's caught Neville. I've gone over to see how Neville was. And as I walked past Trevor, Trevor's turned round, caught me in the forehead. And, you know, the referee's called us both over. And that's, you know, that's it.
Was there ever any provocation at all by the Everton defenders?
Well, not really. I think, you know, we both, like there's myself and Mark Higgins, I think we're more concerned how Neville was, because he seemed to have sort of blood coming from his nose. We just went to see how Neville was.
And he did actually make contact with you, didn't he? Whereabouts was that?
Yeah, he just made contact just above the eyebrow there.
Did you say anything to him at all?
Well, I just said, you know, it looked like a bad tackle and that was it.
Billy Wright. Well, now let's hear the views of the Manchester City manager, John Bond, who'd only just seen these pictures, which resulted in the sending off.
Not too good, is it? I'll deal with that.
You believe it was deliberate attempt to butt the player?
Deliberate. I mean, I didn't look too good on that picture, and I'll deal with it.
Will you fine him?
I'll deal with it. That's as simple as that. Nobody gets away if they play under me with doing retaliatory things, and that looked a bit like that, so I'll deal with that. But after saying all of that, I'll still be happy to have him on my side week in and week out, because he's a good lad and he's a good character lad. It was just unlike him completely. I think he was frustrated by being out of the game. He's made it known privately that he's unhappy with his contribution in terms of the amount of games he's played for Manchester City. And I know he's very aware of that. And he's a marvellous lad. So I think the whole thing was to do with frustration, and his frustration in finding his feet the first 20 minutes during the course of that game. But after saying that, you can't just go about football pitches doing what you want to do. You have to do the right things, and it didn't look too clever, that, so I'll deal with him. As I say, I'll talk to him when I get the referee's report now, and I'll sort it out from there. What I'm absolutely certain about, but that'll be the first and last time he's ever done anything, or will ever do anything like that.
Well, there can be no doubt that the sending off of Trevor Francis was the turning point in the game. City was 75% less effective as an attacking force without him, and reverted to the survival plan seen at Old Trafford 3 weeks ago, with Kevin Rees as a lone runner up front. Referee Derek Civil came in for a lot of unfair abuse from the City fans for the sending off. I felt Mr. Civil handled what was a very difficult match superbly. The crowd's reaction was almost hysterical, and he showed a lot of courage in the face of it. He had no choice but to send Francis off. After he was pushed, Francis clearly retaliated with a butt. Uncharacteristically, though what action was, Francis had to go. Everton captain Billy Wright deserves a word of praise here. We often see players on the receiving end making a meal of incidents like this. Billy Wright didn't. Nothing he did could have contributed to Francis being dismissed. But perhaps most unfair was the treatment by the home fans of goalkeeper Neville Southall. He was barracked despite having no part in an unsavoury incident. All he did was make a brave save and get a boot in the face for his pains. I'm sure the fans were misled into thinking it was a clash with Southall that was responsible for Francis's dismissal. Well, on the positive side, I was impressed by the performance of Everton's Adrian Heath. There's been debate about whether he should play as a striker or in midfield. On the strength of yesterday's performance, I think his talents are better suited up front, where he blends well with Graham Sharp. He had an intriguing battle with fellow England under-21 international Nicky Reed, and on balance came out on top. He has a quick mind and is very sharp in the box. Look how quickly he spots this chance when Reed and Kevin Bond get into a tangle. Heath arrives late, takes the ball out, makes room for the shot, and is narrowly wide. Indeed, he was unlucky not to score more than one goal.
Sharp. Heath and Corrigan at full stretch.
Thanks, Dennis. And with regards to that Trevor Francis incident, I do think it's worth pointing out that Francis has only been booked twice in his career, so as Dennis mentioned, it really was totally out of character. Well, now we've got the main highlights of another First Division game. Ipswich, with only one win in the league in their last 5 games, which really isn't championship form, against Aston Villa, who this week, of course, reached the European Cup semi-finals for the first time. Both teams below strength as we join Jerry Harrison of Anglia Television, Ipswich in the dark shirts.
Stiggles. Mills has gone forward on the right-hand side. Still Stiggles goes forward. Gates holds off North. Walk. John Walk, Ipswich Town's 1,000th goal in the First Division. John Walk bet me £5 before the game that he would get it, and he has. John Walk from way outside the area. That was a really powerful drive. Just inside the post and curving away. Tremendous goal. So John Walk breaks the deadlock in fine style. There's a foul there on Shaw and a free kick to Villa. A minute or so before the break. Evans is up there, so too McNaught. Burley gets a header, but it's Shaw chasing. That's out. It's a corner. Showed against Kiev, of course, in the second leg of the last round of the European Cup, that he can really wriggle in the penalty area, scored a very key opening goal for Villa. But a second corner here. Up goes McNaught. Oh, it was an own goal by Arnold Muren of all people. Brilliant save by Laurie Civil. Well, that was a great piece of reacting from Laurie Civil there. McNaught goes up for this. It's not a terribly powerful header, but then the foot of Muren comes in there and totally deflects it away, and Civil did so well. Here goes Burr. In for Brazil. Walk, there's McCall. Here's McCall again. Oh, what a brilliant goal. That was a tremendous effort. Great passing all the way down the field. Good supporting, good return, and a great shot. Looking for Gates to give it so that he can get the return. Beautiful pace ball from Gates. A lovely drive on the right foot, surprisingly, and whistling into the side netting. 2-0. Mills. Muren. McNaught getting in front of Gates. Oh, well cut out by Arnold Muren. All the space out here for Brazil and for Walk here. Can he get one in? Good block by Rimmer. That was excellent goalkeeping. Might have been slightly too far ahead of John Walk, but give Rimmer the credit certainly there. Walk's on his way. There's the ball. Rimmer's seen it. Got a lot of ground to make up. Piece of stealing again by Arnold Muren. Away goes Brazil. He's onside, although Villa had stopped. Gates. And it's in. Brazil raced away. He knew he had Gates in support. A comfortable one for Gates, although Rimmer made it hard for him. And put in for number 3. Immediately after that, the referee went over to the linesman to check with him. The linesman, Dave Mitcham from High Wycombe, but his flag didn't go up. The Villa players protested, and the goal has been counting. Swain. Shaw, he's run well. And Swain getting down to the line and winning a corner. Which will bring up Evans and McNaught. Evans on the line, Civil getting up there, and that's in off the thigh of McNaught. Not a classic goal by any means, but there, the lack of height of Laurie Civil, I think, catching him out. He goes up there with Evans, he doesn't get anywhere near it. It's McNaught and Steggles in there, bobbles off both of them, and it's in the back of the net.
3-1 at the end, so Ipswich now on the same number of points as Liverpool and having played as many games. Swansea now the leaders following Southampton's defeat at Spurs. Manchester United stay in 3rd place. Well, now let's let's move on to the second division and stand by for some brilliant action between Crystal Palace and Luton Town, the leaders. London Weekend provide the pictures. Brian Moore's the commentator at Selhurst Park.
Plenty of activity behind the scenes here, with the Crystal Palace directors striving to get the club on an even keel and being forced to take measures that have been unpopular with their fans. It's not been an easy time for them. One decision at a board meeting yesterday was that Steve Kember should continue as caretaker manager until the end of the season. Well, the team that Steve Kember has chosen for this important game is the one that gained a surprise and very welcome victory away to Chelsea in midweek. It means that Tommy Langley continues in the number 9 shirt and that Vince Hilaire is again the substitute. And still in the side are Steve Wicks and Jim Cannon, who are both available for transfer. By comparison, there's complete harmony at Luton in spite of the defeat at Barnsley in midweek. Manager David Pleat finds that his problems are not so much concerning morale as injury. He's without defender Mark Azelwood, who's got a hip injury, and is replaced by Wayne Turner. And Lil Fucillo is also out with a knee injury and is replaced by the Yugoslav Radi Antic. The referee is Clive White of Harrow, this week named as England's representative for the World Cup in Spain this summer. And it's Luton then who are attacking the goal to our right in the darker strip. Having won 3 of their last 10, they faltered just a little bit after building up what seemed an almost unsurmountable lead at the top of the second division, and now they lead by only 2 points. And so it's a bit of a pressure game for them against a Palace side that has seen a glimmer of hope after that victory at Stamford Bridge. Here's Brian Horton, so influential in the midfield, but losing out there to Neil Smiley. Langley and Moss. And Antic giving that away in point of fact. Gilbert. And now Bolter to Giles. Langley shoved off the ball without ceremony there by Clive Goodyear, and so it's a free kick to Crystal Palace, who defensively have really shown few problems with a clean sheet in 7 of their last 12 games. The big problem is that they just can't score enough goals themselves. But Wicks up from the back will try and put that right from this free kick. Taken by Murphy, floated there, and a good catch, not under a lot of pressure, by Jake Findlay. Clive Goodyear, the centre of the defence, as he will be certainly now for the rest of the season, with Mike Saxby out for the rest of the season with a knee injury. The Luton manager, David Pleat. Smiley. Pass towards Giles. Everton, Smiley might get in! Beautifully struck goal by Neil Smiley, and Palace go into the lead with 8.5 minutes gone. The cross came in from the left, and the angle was by no means an easy one for Neil Smiley, but it went whizzing into the roof of the net. Steve White, he's beaten his man well there, beaten Billy Gilbert. Played back there, and Antic coming in! 1-1. Only his 3rd goal of the season, and a very good reply by Luton. Steve White doing well here, having beaten Billy Gilbert. He pulled the ball back well, and I thought Brian Steen might be the one there, but it wasn't for him. And there's Antic sliding in, putting it wide of the keeper. 1-1. And now a chance. Oh, my word, it's Babbitt who's made it 2-1. Extraordinary. 2 goals inside a minute, and 3 goals in the first 13 minutes. straight from the kickoff. There's Mabbott sliding the ball past Findlay, and Palace have restored their lead to 2-1. Now Gilbert. Well, we're in for quite a game with a lot of meaning to it as Palace strive to get away from the basement of the second division, and Luton still have this big ambition to get away up into the first. Well, here's White. Brought down, a penalty. This is unbelievable. So we could have 4 goals in the first 14 minutes if Luton can convert the penalty. Hinshelwood going in on White. Clive White thought it was a penalty, and Luton now get the perfect chance to make it 2-2. Well, Moss is something of an expert. 12 goals this season, 9 of them from the penalty spot, and here he is with an opportunity of making it 2-2, which he takes. So with 14 minutes gone only, David Moss there makes it 2-2. Langley, postmarked by Goodyear, still gets it to Murphy. A nice flighted pass by Murphy. The same Giles scampering away and gets it. A little touch for Bolter. Good cross coming in. Oh, my goodness. Cannon with an overhead. Brings a smile to his face and very nearly brought a goal for Crystal Palace. Bolter's cross in, Cannon's overhead. Langley beaten by Goodyear. Here come Luton again. Antich to Hill. That's a good cross towards Steen. And for the first time, Luton go into the lead after twice being a goal down. Good move, and it was Antich who was so positive. Ricky Hills, whose cross was perfection, and Steen doing a good job at the far post. So 39 minutes, just about. Crystal Palace 2, Luton 3. Hinshelwood. Mabbott. Oh, a nice turn down by Mabbott. Langley's drive, charge down. Murphy's shot, causing the keeper to go down. Good break again by Palace. And a lovely touch by Mabbott down for Langley. That was charged down. Murphy came steaming in and forced Findlay to the save. Well, the end of a remarkable 45 minutes, really, with Palace twice in the lead through Smiley and Mabbott. Equalisers for Luton coming from Antich and the penalty spot from David Moss, all in the first 14 minutes. And Steen putting Luton ahead for the first time in this game, 6 minutes before the interval. Crowd appreciating David Giles' rate of work. And it's the sort of enthusiasm that can spread right through a side. There's Gilbert. Trying to play it out towards Giles again. It was Hill cutting it out. Gilbert's not finished yet, though. Murphy finding Cannon, and now it finds David Giles. That was his throw. Such a busy little player. Once more. Oh, and a miss kick by Turner. Smiley turning it back in again towards Langley. Fisted away well. By Findlay. Tommy Langley off. Well, Langley certainly getting a good round of applause, a popular man, Tommy. And it's Vince Hilaire coming on. Equally popular. Smiley. Just couldn't quite hold him off. Hilaire gets him back. Smiley going all the way, surely. Trying to get it back in again, and forcing Finley to the save. A situation that ran away from him just a little bit. At one point it looked so much more promising that in the end it turned out to be. Hilaire and Smiley, it was there when you thought maybe things would go his way, and in the end the angle was a little too difficult. Good play by Bolter. Oh, delicate touch again. Cannon finding Gilbert. As Palace come forward again, Hilaire. Oh, that was a rather crude challenge on Hilaire by Goodyear. Smiley now in possession for Palace. Now Murphy. Still seeking this equalising goal. Giles on the far side in a bit of space there, got his header in well. And there! Smiley has made it 3-3. Well, they were seeking the equaliser, and they found it. A good jump by David Giles on the far side. Hinshelwood was right in there, but it was Smiley's pick. You could see it left Finley almost unsighted. There it is in the back of the net.
3-3 the final score. Luton now, who along with Watford are 6 points clear of Sheffield Wednesday in third place. And this week Luton will sign Keith Cassells, the Oxford striker, for £200,000. Blackburn now fifth following their 1-0 defeat at Wrexham. Oldham have dropped down to eighth, beaten 2-0 at Newcastle yesterday. And to add to their worries, defender Paul Futcher was sent off for swearing at a linesman. And this was the moment when Futcher was ordered off, dismissed for dissent after previously being booked. Futcher, the second Oldham player, sent off in the space of 3 weeks, the other being Darren McDonough. Well, manager Jimmy Frizzell told us Futcher will be fine as it was an act of dissent, and that's a rule at our club. As far as promotion's concerned now, Frizzell added, it's difficult to say we're still in with a chance considering the way things have been going. Well, I suppose it's unfortunate that yesterday's game between Manchester City and Everton will be remembered for the sending off of Trevor Francis, because it included two of the best goals we've seen this season, from Adrian Heath and from Kevin Bond. Good afternoon.
Well, Kevin Ratcliffe got the ball on the left, played a lovely ball into me, and Graham Sharp gave me a call to just get over, shout it over. I let it run through my legs. Fortunately, it ran through Nicky Reid's legs. And then Sharpie let it run, and committee Tommy Caton just put it into my path. And I just managed to get a yard on Nicky Reid to smash it in the back of the net.
Ratcliffe. Heath let it run for Sharp, and it's back for Heath again. And Everton score a superb goal.
I remember getting a square ball, I think it was from Kevin Reeves, and I took the ball on, and there seemed to be oceans of room just in front of me. And I took it on a couple of paces, and the ball bobbled up nicely for me. And I just struck it with my left foot, and it seemed just to zoom in the corner.
And here's Bond, who equalises.